Yes, and we are live. All right, y'all. We are live. We are in this. Oh, look at this close up, though. Never mind, the acne blemishes, but I'm just, like the the clearness of this face. I'm in awe. Yes, I zoomed in up close and personal for a reason, because this face, though, it's giving me face. So y'all, I'm acting silly, but I love this up close and personal vibe. Y'all feeling it? I'm feeling it already. Welcome, y'all, to yet another Makeup Fridays, or Friday, as I should say, but that's the entire name. Here on my channel, we do on a weekly basis. We pop on here onto the YouTube live, and we have some fun, and we really just fellowship and have an amazing time on Makeup Fridays. And that is what we coin this this weekly event, and we have a good time. Old time subbies, y'all let our new folks know, like, this is the place to be. Now, Friday nights, may as random as it may be, I promise y'all, it's not necessarily a date that I had in mind, but when God gives you an idea or something to go after, sometimes it may not always make sense to us, but He has a plan and He has a purpose. So let's go with it. Um, but I thank you all so much for joining me. Like I said, once again, on this Friday evening, as always, you all matter so much to making this thing happen. And I'm just so grateful to God to have y'all with us. So I will. Oh, throats, come on, get it together. But I wanted to share that, before we get all into it, because obviously I know why you all are here to do the look, or the, if you want to try this yourself, we always welcome that here on the Makeup Live. But y'all, it was a struggle before getting onto this, or right before getting onto this. But I'm grateful to God for even having the courage to still do this. I was almost discouraged, y'all, to hop on here, but I was like, no, I'm too dedicated to y'all. And we've been pretty consistent. Even through the holiday season, we've been pretty consistent, and I am so grateful. So I'm glad to have the ability to be on with you all tonight. Because this is something that I definitely look forward to, and I don't want to miss out on tonight because of life and things like that. Sorry, y'all, for my little rants there, but I appreciate you all for just listening to me and still being dedicated, because you are here. So once again, you all, thank you so much for popping on tonight. I hope that your time is purposeful here on tonight. This is definitely different. Every single week we try to pop on with something different, because there are so many different things with makeup and beauty, and sometimes it's not even always makeup, but that is one of the things that we coin with this particular weekly event. So got all that out and done. So I want to go ahead and now just jump into the makeup portion. And I have with me my little friend. Actually want to shout out an amazing businesswoman, which just so happens to be my mother. And she's done an amazing job with her business. And so I actually have to feature one of her pieces with me tonight to help me with this, because I was like, y'all, this is definitely like relevant. That's the word. In this day and age of our, yeah, the thing that's happening. Y'all know what it is. We don't need to mention it, right? No, just going to acknowledge it like that. So, but like I said, I definitely wanted to shout out my mom's business with this and show one of her pieces, because this has been definitely a jewel to have. So this is actually a mask my mom actually made for me and sent me, and I'm so grateful. So here she is, my little purple baby. And I love the mask that just has like the straps, because the ones that you have to tie and all that, I just be like, I already don't want to wear a mask, and having to like have an issue with putting on it. or it's just difficult for me to put on, it's just like no. But masks like this are perfect. I can just slide this over my face, strap them around my ears, pop it off when I need to, when it's necessary, and go about my business. And also a plus, she's also like sewn like this little pocket on the inside where you, it's like your filter portion. And then even if you want us to slide something, which we're not trying to cut off circulation too much, right? Because this is already like yarn material. So, but there's also like a little opening. So if you wanted to pop like a shop towel or something like that as like extra protection, you could with something like this. So I love this mask. And this is actually going to be one of my little props or my little helpers tonight with this. So thank you, Mom. And I hope that you all love it just as much as I do. Isn't it so cute? The pattern, I love it. So let's get into the makeup, y'all. I am very ashy right now. I always try to start off with a clean canvas for y'all because sometimes I literally have on makeup before I pop onto this. No lie. So, but I've taken off my makeup and I had that makeup on all day for work, everything. So I'm going to go ahead and start my moisturizing process. And one thing, especially when it comes to wearing makeup, and I really try to be cognizant about that, is that you really want to have a application that for a lot of times is unmovable, right? Like, and we know sometimes, like, and I'm just gonna moisturize as I talk, multitask, right? And I'm applying this Jack Black mint, natural mint and shea butter, lip intense lip therapy lip balm. So yeah, but a lot of times when it comes to wearing a mask, you definitely want to make sure that you are applying, and you want to wear makeup too, but you want to make sure that your makeup has some lasting power, all right? Especially when you're putting something like you're covering your face with something where it's bound to kind of smudge off or something like that, or just wipe off just because of the impact of wearing something over it. It is important. So, but the most important piece to applying all of that is still to moisturize. So that is why I'm first starting off with moisturizing my lips. And then also too, I'm going to apply my like favorite, I would say favorite daily moisturizer, because typically when I apply my makeup, it is like in the morning time for the day. And so I use the Olay Complete Daily Moisturizer, and this does have SPF 15 in it, and it is for sensitive skin. And I've talked about this moisturizer many times here on my channel. It is bomb because it does have like an SPF, and it's one of those moisturizers with an SPF that does not leave a cast. And I've talked about that so many times before and also shown it. And with this being my first year trying it, it's actually pretty good. And I'm just about running out of this bottle. And it lasted me since I want to say February or maybe March. Um, Around the time like the pandemic had just hit. Oh my God, we said it. We said the word. No. But yeah, just around the time like it had hit, I believe is when I bought this product. So I'm thoroughly impressed, and now I need to get some more because I'm running out and it was just that good. But I'm gonna now move on to doing my brows. And here's my little spoolie. So I'm just gonna go ahead and brush my hairs into place so that I can have my natural shape of my brows groomed and ready to just prepped for my filling in process. So along just kind of moving along, but with wearing a mask, what I've seen, especially because I've not allowed a mask to stop the show with wearing makeup for me. I don't know about y'all, but you know, me and makeup, we are a force together. So I'm not allowed wearing a mask to stop me from wearing makeup. But what I will say is that I've learned how to wear makeup still, what has worked for me with wearing a mask. So the most important thing that I've noticed is that you really have to still, no matter, even if you have to wear a mask, you still want to make sure that you're rocking the right products that's compatible with your skin. So I have oily skin. If you are someone who may have oily skin like myself, a lot of times it could be beneficial to wear like the more mattifying products or the products that are going to soak up those excess oils. And if you are someone who has like more like drier skin or just combination skin or something like that, then of course you want to stick with products that aren't going to be so drying because your skin naturally already doesn't produce as much oil in your face to begin with. So your focus is hydration. but I'm just filling in my brows or outlining them and then filling in a little bit. Um, but yep, so I am going to kind of pop on some mattifying products today that I've known work for me throughout the entire season of wearing a mask. And just because I am featuring some products that are for my skin type. Like I say with anything, or if I have not mentioned it before, I want to mention it now. Just because something works for me may not necessarily work for you, and that is okay. And that's even if we may have some of the similar things. So you may have like oily skin just like I do, but everything is, doesn't work for everybody. Long story short, like, there will be some things that will work with my skin type because maybe I do have oily skin, and just because you have oily skin doesn't mean that same thing is going to work for you. Um, because there's so much that goes into like our body and skin makeup that we're not all cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways. But but for me, I've definitely love to make sure that I'm paying attention to those mattifying products. So, but this is the first step. Brows is definitely one of those things that you're going to see whether I have on a mask or not. So that's the beautiful thing, right? Like, that is amazing. So I'm just now going to go ahead and clean up my brows, and I'm going to grab my concealer, my all-time favorite concealer that I usually use to clean up around my brows. It's by LA Girl. My little short arms couldn't reach it. But here she goes. And the color that I typically get is in chestnut. And I've talked about this so many times. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to work, just using this little flat brush. But yeah, your brows, you can definitely see over your mask. So doesn't necessarily take away from your application of wearing makeup, right? So I have still been able to get away with doing the same technique of my brows. Nothing has altered with wearing a mask with my brows. This is the same way that I've done my brows, even without being in the season of mask wearing. So, but because I believe this, it's important to point out because this is one of the crucial, parts of your face that is showing. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be covered by a mask. It's important, that you do, put some work into them and make them look really nice. This can definitely be one of those parts of your face that still stands out, and people are watching. And you want to make sure this part of your face is still presentable. So that's why I definitely think that even though this is a part of your face that may not necessarily have to be covered, you still want to make sure that your brows look good. So if you have kind of rushed through your brow routine before, it maybe if you've been a person that you may not have like done your brows as much before, maybe take a little bit more time and attention to your brows. And I've heard the saying before, like our brows give our face shape, and our face kind of like personality. So, which I definitely agree. Like, just think, I know there are some people who unfortunately have lost, hairs on their brows, or may not necessarily lost them, may, just have a very thin amount of hairs that grows around their brow line already. So sometimes some people just have to, be in a situation where, their brows are very thin. But this is where I definitely also think that filling in your brows, you can master that. So one thing that I always say towards the end of this video that I love that YouTube does is that they always post a playback like the next day. So tomorrow afternoon, this playback of this live will be available and posted to my YouTube page. So if you are wanting to look at that brow routine that I just ran through as I was kind of talking, that was kind of fast, but you can still go back and look at it. So sis, I got you. But my brows look pretty good. And like I said, this routine has been something that I've done for my brows, even when we, weren't having to wear a mask. So, and I still follow my brows natural shape and all that good stuff. And I don't, you know, go too ham or too crazy on my brows. And they look pretty nice, pretty natural. And they would definitely make my face look really done up and presentable. So you don't have them covered, sis. That's one thing on your face that you can at least stand out. So definitely put some time and attention into your brows. And even if you don't necessarily fill them in, I think also shaping up your brows. I know like a lot of people aren't going out. I'm one of those people that's not going out necessarily using like the opportunity to go to like nail shops. I know a lot of nail shops do brows, or even you go to some spas and stuff that do brows. You know, some of us aren't comfortable doing that. But I mean, if you take the time you want to do them yourself, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I have tweezed my brows. I don't have my particular set of tweezers on hand. But honestly, any set of tweezers that you're comfortable wearing, I always say is a way to go. Or, or there are those little like brow razors out there. That's also another option that you can kind of groom your brows if you don't necessarily want to wear makeup or fill in your brows or whatever. This is very little. Like y'all just saw, I just filled my brows in with my little pencil here, my brow pencil, and then I cleaned up with concealer. Like those just two products. And I know that's still too much for some people, but hey, you got to do what works for you and what you're willing and comfortable to deal with. So, but definitely you want to have your brows good and ready to go, especially for a really nice bomb look when wearing your mask. Another part of, like I once again said, my skin type is sensitive and also very oily. So I actually have been using this primer, and this is by e.l.f. This is their matte putty eye primer, and this is a little container that it comes in. It's like a little cream based product, and this one is actually pretty full. I think this is uh, my second go of this. I bought this, I think, the beginning of this year, and then I bought it again. So this is the second tube that I've gotten. But this is a more mattifying primer, and it is like you see a cream base. And I've really enjoyed using this one in particular because it is like a matte primer. So it has been more of a like, it gives my skin the ability to have some oil insurance. So it soaks up those oils. It works with my skin type to allow my makeup application to go on pretty smooth and control the oil that literally seeps through my makeup throughout the day throughout me wearing my makeup. So that is why I've enjoyed this one. And this product has also been compared to the Tatcha makeup primer, that I know is a pretty well-known product, and it's also been raved about, and you can find it at Sephora. But the fact that this is like a lower end product, I've enjoyed being able to try it. Y'all, I look like a ghost. But that is just kind of like what it looks like when you do rub this in. But this is a pretty good primer, especially to apply for a really good supportive primer to help your makeup or your foundation last all day. So boom. Y'all, I don't like the fact that it's making me look ghostly on camera, but that's just that. That is just that. But that's my primer. Some people don't like to apply a primer, and that is so fine. You definitely don't have to. Some people think applying primers is not necessary. I won't say the other terms folks have said about primers, but I know me personally, I found to think that, or see more so, that primers are beneficial, especially with my skin type, in the fact that I'm a pretty oily girl, and I've just seen primers work a lot for me in the summertime. Wintertime, I can get away with not wearing a primer because my moisturizer that I use, but the summertime, I need all that I can get with the sun. Now we're moving on to foundation. So foundation is one of those things that is important, especially when it comes to wearing makeup. And it is one of those pieces that can rub off onto your mask when you are wearing it. So for someone like me, I have enjoyed loving the matte foundations, the liquid matte in particular foundations. And we know so many companies over the past few years have come out with their own version of the liquid foundations that have those mattifying, what's the word? That have those mattifying properties. There we go. So a foundation that I've actually been picking up a lot this week is this one by L'Oreal. It's their infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation, and this has sunscreen in it also. So boom, all the sun protection, right? And this one has SPF 25. It does come with a pump, sis, so you're handled there. And it is pretty long lasting, as it says. Um, I love the fact that there's an expiration date on here. I love it. But yep, this is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and, 24 hours. There we go. On the cap, it says it 24 hours. So now I'm just going to go ahead and start applying this to my face. This dries matte, like I did say. So this is one of those foundations that I can definitely get a good application out of that won't necessarily rub off too much onto my mask. And it says that, and I even say that, but we know that foundations are perfect. And sometimes a lot of these products that do claim to be transfer free still can transfer or rub off. So, but it's still, I think, beneficial to just give a matte foundation a try. And I would even say the same if you have like skin type that's not necessarily oily and you have maybe drier, a more drier skin type, or normal skin type or combination. You may also still be able to get away with wearing a matte foundation. It just depends on the ingredients. And that is also something that you can really just check out for yourself, but you have to be mindful of the ingredients and how it really works with your skin. So I have seen many people use matte foundations that don't necessarily have like oily skin. And sometimes like there are matte foundations that may give like a dewy finish. I think in particular, the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, one of my all-time favorite foundations, actually gives a really good matte coverage, and it dries pretty dewy, but it is a matte foundation. So, all right, now I'm going to go in with this fixing spray. This is my Hydra Matte Fixing Spray, and it has hyaluronic acid and vitamin E, and I'm just going to spray this a little bit over on top of that before I blend it out, just to kind of help me get a little bit easier blending process going. So I'm going to spray a little bit of this. This is definitely a step that's optional. It's something that I've been doing a lot lately because, like I said, I love a matte foundation. So sometimes I talk, or for whatever reason, like I just move how I move. And I see sometimes when I'm blending out my foundations, they dry quicker than what I want to. So this step has helped me in the process of blending out my foundation. That's probably the only step that I've seen this be useful for. So I know some people might be like, is that even necessary? You don't have to do it, sis, but I think it's beneficial for you to see what I do in my routine. So I wanted to, do what I do and not just come on here and show y'all and be fake. I'm showing you what I do, sis. This is what I normally do. So I'm sharing. And if this is something that you want to try for yourself, like, hey, by all means, do it, sis. But yeah. So this foundation blends out pretty well, and it's actually not so dry on me right now. So I love that. So after I blend this all the way out, can still be able to apply my concealer and contour shade and still be pretty good, where my foundation and my concealer would be kind of pretty wet. So it blends out really good. And I enjoy blending with a beauty blender, y'all. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply some concealer. Now the concealer that I have by L'Oreal is also by the Infallible line, but this one is called full wear. It's not fresh wear, but full wear. So this is what it looks like. This is a part of the infallible line, but the shade of this concealer is too dark. So whenever I use it, I usually am wearing the foundation because that's really only, I love wearing matching foundations and concealers, but I always have to apply like a lighter concealer with it. So that's what I'm going to do now as well. So I'm just going to apply some of that. See, it will, you think like, oh, that look doesn't look bad, Kayla. Like, but when I blend it out, since it's gonna blend right in with the foundation. So uh, I want a little bit of bright action going on. So I go in with my favorite concealer by e.l.f., the Camo Concealer, and I'll just apply a little bit of that onto anywhere just to kind of get it on. And then I apply in other places that I like to conceal. Apply a little bit more of that onto my under eye. And I think I'm just about done with this one. And don't worry, y'all, I got another one sitting over here in my little stash. And now I'm just taking a beauty blender and blending that in. Backing up. Y'all, lately I have been allowing my concealer to sit to kind of allow for it to get a little bit dry, just a little bit, because that allows for me to have a fuller coverage, which I think is pretty dope. I've seen that technique somewhere too. Wasn't something that I made up. Just want to shout that out. So while I'm waiting for that to kind of dry, I've been going in and just applying my contour. So that is what I do. And I'll blend that out using the pointed end of my beauty blender. You might say, Kayla, contour is actually going to be kind of covered up with your mask. Is it really necessary? One thing about contour is what I've seen with wearing my mask. Although, yes, it might be covered up like by your mask, because your mask, of course, is covering pretty much the lower part of your face, your mouth, your nose. You can still wear contour, but you don't always have to, and now I'm just blending out my concealer, but you don't always have to apply like a cream and also the powder bronzer, which of course I just applied the cream. You say you don't have to do that necessarily. What do you mean? Well, this is the reason why I say you don't have to. Because one thing's for sure, we know that even if a product says it's transfer free, wearing a mask all day, you're bound to get some kind of transfer from your face onto the inside of your mask. So it could be beneficial to just apply those powders and set, because for one, powders, of course, are something that you finish off your face with. But also when you set your powder, like a setting spray, I think for the most part, a lot of people use like setting spray. You are bound to allow that powder to settle into your face. And that kind of wet texture from the setting spray just allows your face and the powder to mingle together and matte up a bit. So when at the end, I will basically go over with my all over powder to kind of set my concealer, set my all over my face, and then I'm going to spray. But I've already applied my foundation and such. I have enough coverage on my face. So even if I have some transfer on my face, usually because of all that I do in my routine, I'm not going to have all of what I have on my face literally onto the inside of my mask. I know it's kind of confusing, but y'all, and some people I've heard a lot of feedback about, okay, especially for my folks that are pretty beginners with wearing makeup, they may not necessarily apply all of these or do all these different steps, and that is okay. But if you are someone that you're interested in just furthering your skills and stuff like that, you probably have tried out wearing foundation, wearing under eye concealer, wearing setting powder, contouring, wearing blush, wearing highlight. Those may be things that you may have dibbled and dabble in. And so when it comes to wearing a mask, you can still do those things, but at the same time, you have to expect that there is going to be some transfer because you still have this cloth essentially covering your face, and it's a cloth material, or it could be satin. Satin is also a really good material that I've seen some people go for, because of just the material, and some people have sensitive skin, and that is just something that some people enjoy a lot better too. I have a couple of satin, maybe 2 or 3 satin material masks, or masks made out of satin material. But for the most part, the ones that I have are like cloth material, um, or cotton. So, but yeah, that's the thought with that, is that you are bound to still have some transfer, even if you do all of this. But at the same time, you can definitely change up the material of your mask if you are super worried about, okay, I want to wear makeup, but I don't want to have this issue all the time. So yeah, definitely a satin mask. I'm now going to go in with my under eye powder just to set my under eye concealer. And of course, I'm still using the same powder I've been using by Maybelline Fit Me. This is their translucent powder. And I have 2 different shades. I have medium, deep, and then I have dark, the shade dark, to set all over my face. And now I'm going in with dark. Boom. I just love these containers because the tops that it come with makes it so much more easier to get out of the container. I've tried some powders and it took me forever to try to get that product out. And when I have to work to get my product out, I am least likely to buy your product again, because like, it's difficult to work with the packaging, and that's not one thing a consumer wants. Like, I want to love the product, not have to work forever to get it out of the container just to use it. So I love just the packaging, the overall packaging. Great job, Maybelline. All right, so I'm applying this all over my face, and I even apply and go over that under eye area, and where I applied that contour, that cream contour, just to make sure that everything is well blended together. All right. Now, so we applying our powders, right? So now I'm going to go in and apply just a little bit of blush. Blush is also on my cheeks, but this is still something that I know that I normally do a part of my makeup. So one trick about blush though, and here's the tea, sis. Here's the tea. And I feel for so many of us, we have been doing blush wrong for so many years. So normally, we live and we learn, and there are things that are definitely not our fault because we've been taught those things, and maybe we were taught the same things that were wrong for so many people in the past or before us. But we're not here to judge or condemn anybody. But I have here, of course, the blush that I'm going to apply. So many times we've been trained to apply blush to the apples of our cheeks, right? So you smile, you just dust, and I'm not dusting, I'm just showing you the technique we've been shown. So you just smile and we dust the apples of our cheeks, right? Ding, ding, ding. But when you do that, you go ahead and apply that blush, and then you stop smiling, and right, you apply the blush there, and then when you stop smiling, the blush is going to be down here. So, I mean, for some people that's okay, but most of the time, like, folks can't. It looks like your blush is all the way down here. It'll be basically almost near your smile lines, your mouth, and you want your blush to be like on the apples of your cheeks, right? Like on the upper portion of your cheek. It's up here, not down here. So to kind of combat that, and it's okay, like, let's all just take it in. We've all kind of been learned, taught something wrong. This is a technique that I say, using this for years, and I learned this a while back, just a few years ago, y'all. I learned this, so I'm still part of the band of doing it wrong, doing it all wrong, doing your blush all wrong. So to kind of allow for your blush to show and be more visible on your face and be just aligned, I think in a better place or better placement, you want to go ahead and just do something different, but it will still show. May not necessarily make sense, but just go with me. So instead of placing your blush on your apples of your cheeks, and right, we're wanting that blush to be on the upper portion of our cheeks, right? What you want to go ahead and do is dust on that blush towards maybe the hairline, and then just do it lightly, and then you can kind of work inward, but be very gentle and very light. And you don't have to apply so much. So what I already have on the right side of my cheek, this is not right. Yeah, okay, maybe you're right too. So I'm going to do the very same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and dust towards my hairline and then work my way in. So dusting towards my hairline very lightly and kind of dragging that over, dragging it inward. So starting near my hairline and dragging it inward. And I'm being very light because I don't like to have too much blush. I don't think it looks natural and wearable at all. Starting in my hairline and drag it in. So now, and of course you can go in and finish blending and all of that. So if you want to just kind of dust over it a little bit, you can. But now when you go to smile, your blush is going to be noticeable. And the placement of your blush is going to be a lot more seen. So you're going to see that color of pop on your cheeks, and it's going to have a better placement and just accentuate your face or your cheek area a lot better versus being all the way near your smile line. Once you stop smiling, it's going to be all the way down here. And it's okay, if you don't wear a blush because you are just struggling with the placement, but this has definitely been a technique that has benefited me so long, and I still to this day am grateful for this technique because I did apply it to the apples of my cheeks in the past, and I know we're taking out the time in Slow Live to do this, but I definitely felt it was worth sharing. So we got our blush on, y'all, and now we're just going to top off our cheek application with some highlight. And what I like to do with the highlight, I want to almost describe my contour, blush, and highlight as almost as a gradual family. So yes, on the contour of your cheek is where you're going to apply that contour, right? Then right above where we just placed this blush, right above that contour is going to be your blush. And then right on top of that highlight, we're just going to place right on top of that blush, we're going to place lightly the highlight. And we don't want to look like a laser beam, like a really bright laser beam. So that's why I say dust very lightly your highlight on, because you want it to look very natural and wearable. Not a really heavy streak on your cheek where when you turn to the side, it just looks like a big glob of like shimmer on your cheek. And it's like, so long we even thought that was cute, but a more natural, subtle approach to your highlight would definitely look a lot better and a lot natural. And that's what we want to go for. That's what we want to walk around on our face with. I promise you. It's definitely a lesson learned for so much in terms of like the cheek areas for me. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of my powder contour because I realized I did not do that. But over the years, y'all, I've definitely learned the power of moderation and the power of placement. It can save your makeup application so much. But all these things, I am not saying that you have to do necessarily on your cheeks, especially in terms of wearing a mask. But these are just some of the things that I've still enjoyed wearing. And it's been okay. Yes, sis, you might be like, Kayla, have you seen some of those videos where folks have like only done the makeup on the upper part of the face? I have. And I mean, if you want to do that, definitely go for it. But I just think about what happens when you take off your mask. Not that you want to do that out in the open. But say you're around folks, and you're socially distant and you're in a place where it's safe and you want to take off your mask. Like it looks pretty crazy to have just one portion of your face covered and the rest is just kind of like, especially if you like me and you have blemishes. One of the final touches to kick off this look is, of course, the lips. Y'all know we end that off, right? The lips is one of those parts of your face that, yes, it's covered. But what I've noticed, especially, and why I appreciate these products in the age of wearing a mask, I appreciate these so much more. And that is liquid lipsticks that dry matte. So this has been a trend this entire life, right? It's that matte, like, go-to ingredient. But of course, when you think about it, those cream lipsticks, they're gonna come right off. Like they already come off when you're eating or you're drinking something. But when you think about matte lipsticks, those things are dry. So they're gonna last a lot longer. And especially when you're wearing a mask, I have seen that, yes, some have still wiped off on my mask, but they last a lot longer. So that's, if you don't take away anything from this video, get into the matte lipsticks. So this, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply the one that I was wearing today, and this is by Milani. This is one of their more matte lip creams, and the color that I have is Obsession, and it is so pretty. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that. And I wanna say these lip creams in particular dry so fast, which are actually a pretty good benefit. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Get into this lip color, everything. Very pretty. I don't know why I haven't been wearing this color as much, but I definitely need to quit playing with it and get into it. This is one I think you can wear in the summer, spring. Oh, the spring. Yes. We often talk about fall and summer. We need to talk about spring more. I mean, winter, we can show love to winter too, but winter is one of those that I'm gonna just be biased. I don't really like the winter as much, but it's okay. I'm a Chicagoan, so I should be giving the winter more love, but I mean the winter. All right, what I'm gonna do now, y'all, is just set my face. And of course, I know y'all are looking at my lashes and like, girl, you naked, you didn't get the lashes love. For me, whenever I do my face, I normally have to set my face with my setting spray first and then do like my mascara and stuff, because usually if I do my mascara before I set my face, that's when the mistakes come in, because my mascara may not be dry and then it gets messy because I spray on my setting spray. So y'all, I just got to do it. It works for me. All right. And this, yes, is the same setting spray that I use to spray my foundation before I blended it out. All right. Okay. Now at least my eyes are dry and I can move on to those. So normally for me, I haven't shared enough before, I can wear false lashes, but for the majority, like the majority of the time, I usually just wear mascara. If you thought that I wasn't a mascara wearer, I'm sorry if I plagued you, but since I normally wear mascara, because for me, it's just a lot easier and quicker. And, I love the length of my lashes. They're not, so super duper long, but for the most part, I love the fact that I do have a pretty good length. So, what I like to do, of course, is apply a mascara primer to my lashes before I apply my mascara. And I recommend, it doesn't matter what the brand is, I recommend just using a primer because it can save you a whole heck of a lot of time and also give you a better application of applying your primer. And also, too, I'm a contact wearer, so I I love that a primer just kind of allows your mascara to stick and apply a lot easier. And I definitely think it can really benefit folks who wear contacts like myself, so that the mascara is not getting in your eyes and all that good stuff, or bad stuff rather, because it's bad if anything gets in your eyes. Just a sad time. Mascara is definitely one thing that I don't think I've talked so much about on my channel to like explain to people. Um, the biggest thing that I probably have mentioned is like products that you can use, like in terms of like wearing a primer and that stuff. But applying mascara is almost one of those things that I feel like it's kind of self explanatory. You're just brushing on the product. Um, but I wish I could do better, but the biggest thing is brush on the product. And I also like to say, um, like in terms of applying it, you want to make sure that you are kind of like brushing towards where your lash line starts. So, like you're underneath your lid, kind of starting at the beginning of where your lash hairs are and covering that entire lash so that you get enough coverage and really lengthen your lashes. And also to give those inner lashes some love so you can have a full look. Oh, look at that mascara. L'Oreal's mascara products are usually pretty good. Maybelline too. They're pretty good too. And then I also like to hit up those bottom lashes. I'm so glad, y'all, that I hopped on tonight. I would have felt devastated if I did not. So I am really glad that in spite of how I was feeling today, I still made it on. And thank you to whomever is on here. Y'all, I know sometimes it don't be a lot of people. I am very aware, but I'm grateful to God for those of you that do jump on because um, I know when I didn't have anybody, so it doesn't matter. Jesus said, "Where two or three are gathered in His name." Come on, somebody. He is in the midst, so it doesn't matter. And we're just gonna pray for overflow, 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 y'all. They come and they come and they may not be here right now, but they're coming. Y'all touch and agree with me on that. But y'all, this is the look. Sometimes I do apply like eyeliner, but for the most part, I think when you are wearing a mask, you will see your eyes and your brows for the most part. That is probably out of anything, and I'm just tucking this little baby here. Out of anything, the main things that are probably going to be showing are your eyes. So, what better way to rock makeup than to make sure your brows, sorry y'all for the lighting, but to make sure that your brows and that your eyes are pretty on point. If you want to go from here and apply some liner, you absolutely can. And just because I have my mascara already applied doesn't mean that I can't apply liner. It's better, I feel like, to apply liner, I'm going to say before or after. Which way? It's better to apply liner. You're okay with applying liner after you've applied mascara or before when you're just applying mascara. you have more of a difficult task, I found, with applying liner when you put on lashes. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's because of the eyelash band, but I've had a pretty difficult time with applying eyeliner after I've applied like false lashes. But when you just apply mascara, it's okay. Because even if like your eyeliner wand, like this one is touching my lashes, that product is just gonna blend right in with that mascara. So boom, just a real quick line. It is still okay if you've already applied your mascara and you want to apply some liner. And I think it's also pretty cool that you can play with your eyes and turn like a day look into night. So say if you wanted to apply some real quick eyeshadow to kind of help enhance your eyelids, you can do that. You want to go out in the night, you can do that. Here, I'll take um, I'll take this palette. Mhm. I don't want this palette. Well, I'm trying to look for the best palette. Well, let's do this one. One of my favorite palettes, you already know what it is. Juvia's Place, yes, the Warrior 2. So I'm just going to turn this little left eye into something, because you can definitely still rock eyeshadow with the mask on. Because what are we seeing more so with a mask? Your eyes and your brows. So if you want to turn a day look into night, you can do that. So I'm just popping on some shadow real quick. Even if I've already applied my mascara, y'all, this is very much okay. It doesn't have to be anything overboard. It can be a really simple beat. And for this one, I might even get away with applying only 2 colors. We'll see. I'm just packing that on into like the outer V and the crease. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'm going to take this little eyeshadow brush and pop in some lid shadow, and I'm just going to apply that right on top of my lid. A nice little neutral beat. And some folks may want to be a little risky and go even darker than this. Since you can do it, it doesn't matter. You can. I'm just going to dust a little bit of that dark chocolate onto the outer V. All right, now I want to soften up my crease up a little bit. So I'm going to go in using this caramel color, and I'm just going to go right on top of where I applied that darker shade, just to kind of soften it a little bit. So where my crease and my brow bone meets is pretty soft in that area. Once again, y'all, from here, some folks may want to go like really darker. Because when you think of like a nighttime look, it is pretty like, dark. And that is definitely fine. Here, even if I wanted to, can I? I think we'll be fine with this. But yes, y'all, you can definitely do it. I'm gonna just take a little bit of this napkin and just kind of go on the corners of my eye just to kind of clean up, to make a sharp. line there. And then I want to go in with a little bit of my liner. And we're going to be real fancy and create us a wing. And boom. And y'all, I had already had everything applied. I didn't apply that eyeshadow or liner before applying anything. Everything was already applied. But I'm telling you, point is, your eyes are going to show with the mask on. So you might as well have fun, right? Even if it's not doing like this is just a demo to show you. This isn't even all of everything that this can be, but it is definitely proof that you can step it up. I do have some lashes too, by the way, if we want to pop those in, or if I just wanted to. Is this mine? Let me do this. I'm gonna show y'all, and I'm gonna only apply might look crazy. Can we? No, let's apply both. Period. And I don't even have my tweezers, y'all. So we just going with the fingers. I think I did have some green shadow. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some lashes. I'm telling you, your eyes is where it's at with wearing a mask. How y'all doing? Y'all still with me? All right, and I'm applying these with my fingers, like I said. No, I'm definitely out of frame. I'm so sorry, y'all. Whenever I'm trying to like apply like mascara and stuff, I try to get as close to the mirror so I can see. So, y'all, that's normally what I do when I'm applying makeup. So I'm apologizing to y'all. Okay, maybe if I look on camera, I'll be able to see it. No, it's not working. All right, we gonna get her going. For me, I definitely like to apply just a thin layer of glue to my lashes because y'all, I know sometimes we want to get a really good wear out of our lashes, and glue can ruin it. Second time, y'all. Oh, oh, I think she's going in. And of course, we gotta press down to blend our lashes in the lash itself. Y'all think that was kind of difficult, so we just gonna have to apply that one lash tonight. But I wanted to show that you can definitely vamp up the eyes when wearing a mask. Doesn't necessarily have to be either of these looks. You can definitely do what works for your preference, but you definitely, I've seen you can get a lot of wear out of your eyeshadow looks and mascara or wearing lashes with your brows. They always gonna be there, so definitely get those together. But absolutely, you can definitely do what you need to do with your eyes. But the lips, though, y'all get into this lip color once again. I'm telling you, when it comes to any lipstick product that you wear during this age of wearing masks, matte lipsticks, they're your best friends. I'm telling you. Cream lipsticks, you do have cream lipsticks that are matte, but sometimes even that formula is still not dry. I want to say the Ruby, what is it? The Ruby Rue. I think that's the title of this lipstick by MAC. Some of y'all may know it. But Ruby Woo, Ruby Woo or Ruby Rue. One of those. Ruby Woo by MAC. It's a really pretty red. That is like a traditional lipstick. It's a cream, but it does dry matte. And what I've seen, especially I used to wear a lot last winter, that lipstick would even dry pretty matte, but also like dry completely. And it's a cream based lipstick. You have some lipsticks that do have formulas that would do that, but some, they, like I said, they're pretty dewy and they are still pretty creamy. They don't dry like at all. So it's like with those, you're bound to lose it when you put on a mask or when you got on a liquid matte stick. And I say liquid because it's a lot of times the liquid lipsticks that dry matte are the ones that are going to dry down. So even without the age of wearing a mask, I will wear the liquid lipsticks, but I see the benefit. And that's why I said I love them even more now because I see the benefit of the formula of a liquid lipstick that dries matte. Because for one, with the liquid, it is a lot of a more so of a thinner formula that contains those mattifying properties. And so with a matte lip, it's more long lasting, so it's definitely going to stay there longer. I promise you, y'all, if you don't take everything from this video and try it, take one, and I hope it's the lipstick, but also to the eyes. Play with your eyes and wear something fun, whether you want to try new colors or new eye looks. I definitely think that this is a time where you can do that because your eyes are showing more than anything when you wear makeup while wearing a mask anyway. And then also too, if you have not perfected the brow technique, sis, this is your time. This is your chance. Go for it. I'm rooting for you. And of course, y'all always check these videos out. You don't have to come and call me up and ask me to do this for you. Sometimes, like even though I'm still willing to do that, but I know a lot of y'all go back and you look at these playback of these videos, and I appreciate it. I appreciate even being able to allow this to go out into the atmosphere for you all to have as a resource. So definitely practice those things, and I definitely recommend that for y'all. But this is definitely some of the stuff that I've seen to work out in the age of wearing a mask. And notice, y'all, I'm not saying the age of the pandemic or the virus. I'm just gonna call it the age of wearing a mask. Okay, we're not gonna acknowledge that thing because it's coming to an end soon. So praise God. But yes, y'all, I hope that y'all enjoyed this live tonight. Thank y'all once again for tuning in to me. I know we had a small crowd, but y'all, we are always willing to come on this thing. And I'm so grateful to God once again for even still having the courage to push through, to jump on here, even with the way I was feeling tonight. I'm very, very grateful to God to be able to still pop on and be with y'all for Makeup Fridays. So I definitely, once again, like I said, hope that y'all enjoy this. Catch the playback because y'all know YouTube always posts live playback onto the YouTube the day after it is live. So it will be available on my channel on tomorrow afternoon. So y'all make sure to check back here if you are interested in seeing anything else. Again, it's going to be there for you, sis. So go forward. But thank y'all again. I love y'all, and I definitely appreciate y'all so much. You all don't know how much y'all mean to me with this. It's whew, we know how far we've come. So I appreciate y'all. But again, I hope that y'all have an amazing night. I know it's late. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so I know my folks in Central, y'all got like a whole hour extra than me. So no, I love y'all. I do. But I'm going to go ahead and call it quits here. And I definitely thank you all again for jumping on here with me tonight. And I will see you all next time, next Friday, here on the channel on Makeup Fridays. Lord willing. I love y'all. I'll see y'all then. Bye, y'all.